Mike left Turner to go run the construction department for the Ratner companies, which is like hair cuttery and bubbles. So he was writing the request for proposal and the scope of work and hiring contractors for all of their hair salons, which it's how big those companies are. So it was a lot of work. It was a really neat position. But he's since decided to leave that company and start his own business in residential construction, buying up properties and then redesigning them himself, and then managing the reconstruction, and then selling them.
Well, so as Jody said, what I do right now is residential, essentially development, and I want to get into bigger projects and do commercial development as well. And when I say development right now, really what I'm doing, I do a little bit of financing, finance work and searching for properties, but more it's construction and architecture, which is really my background. That's what I've done for the last 12, 15 years. When I got started, I came out of school with a master's in English, and I was working in film, and I was kind of like in this creative business. And I was in DC and wanted to get my own townhouse and fix it up, and just kind of all of a sudden a couple things happened. I wanted to find the townhouse. I was working on a film company, and the film company just kind of went under, and I needed to look for a new job. And I was temping at a construction company doing their marketing and stuff like that, not anything really related to construction on a technical side. The president of the construction company approached me and just said, you've been here for a couple months temping, and I'm looking for a new project manager. I'll teach you everything you need to know. If you don't like it and want to go back to film in 6 months, that's fine. But it'll be a good opportunity for you. And I was kind of hesitant, but I decided to just take it and roll with it. And
this was at Turner?
No, this was at the Keystone Group.
Okay.
So this is the first general contractor of 3 that I worked for before I finally wound up at Turner. So at this first company, I really just was doing very, very small projects, moving a door in an office, or I was mainly working for other people and then doing these really tiny, tiny projects, but kept working my way up, and then went to another general contractor to try to do bigger projects, and it wasn't really a good fit there, and then I finally found myself at Turner. And I was at Turner for 8 years, and I just loved Turner. I mean, it was exactly what I was looking for, and I was the type of person that they wanted, and they took the time to really train me and teach me everything that I could possibly know, and whether it was on the job or formal training, it was just nonstop learning and being exposed to these great projects. So I was there for 8 years, and it was great. In the meantime, I did buy a house and was doing a lot of work kind of on the weekends, and that was sort of my hobby, was just to do residential and building furniture and stuff like that. So I kind of went through the years at Turner and really loved it there, and was always kind of thinking, what's next and what do I want to do after Turner? Or am I going to stay at Turner forever? And I finally got an offer I kind of couldn't refuse, director of construction at this national retailer, and it was a fantastic job, and they really needed someone to come in and just from the ground up retool their entire construction division. They did about $5 million worth of build-outs a year, and they just really didn't have somebody that they had people who had facilities backgrounds for managing facilities, but not really building. So what I did was I kind of came in, restructured all of the different processes, and did a lot of design work, which I had started to do at Turner. I was doing a lot of design build projects at Turner, but at Ratner I really headed up the design side of it and redesigned the hair cuttery salon and all the furniture and working on the finishes with architects, and it's very heavy on the design side. So I got to cut my teeth a lot on that, which was great. But then kind of when we retooled everything and it was running smoothly, it lost a little bit of the adrenaline I had initially and the excitement I had initially come to really love. And so I started thinking again about what do I want to do next. And in the back of my mind, I'd always thought about going from what I did every day, which is work on the commercial side, to my hobby, which is working in residential and building furniture and stuff like that. So what I decided to do was set up this company where I would start very small, buying one townhouse at a time, doing all the design work, managing a crew to do the construction, and work it bigger and bigger until I could do large projects, and really just see what part of it I like the most, which was something I really like about what I'm doing now, is I can focus on the things that I want to focus on and hire people to do the little pieces that I don't want to do. Or I get a really good balance. I take on the types of projects I want to take on, and I'm constantly looking at different types of projects to see what might be the next type of project. So that's kind of in a nutshell my experience and what I've done. I think the thing that has always guided me, which came from this portion of my life where I was really into film and working in a creative industry. When I came to construction, it was always the creativity that drove me, whether it was the architecture and the design of the actual building, or just creative problem solving and being, looking at all the options I had and trying to figure out what was going to be the best and look the best and be the easiest for everybody. So that's kind of my biggest thing that's driven me. I've lived for the last couple of years in a townhouse in Petworth, which is built in 1930. So all the houses in that neighborhood are pretty much built in the same era and are basically the same, and the blocks go for rows and rows and rows of these townhouses. So that was kind of one of my lessons that I learned from working at Ratner. Is if you're building 900 hair salons, it's a lot easier than when you're at Turner and you're building a one-off office and then you go off to another office and they're completely different. And you of course take a lot of things that you've learned, but it's nice to be able to do each project kind of cookie cutter and the same, and change it up a little bit, but to bring one crew from one project to the next project, and they've already done the project. Basically, the way I do the projects are, and this is the way the project is what it is. I bought the house, I own the house,
right.
And I'm allowed to do to it what I want.
Right.
If I were working as a contractor for somebody else, I'd have to get a license. I'd have to hire an architect. I mean, it may get more complicated. I think, in
You
the
process
district.
getting the permits and everything yourself then?
Yeah, I go down to the permit office just as a homeowner, which is what I am, and just say, this is what I'm doing and I need a permit for this. And, it's not an easy process, and I think they're I wouldn't say they're forgiving to a homeowner, but they understand that if you were there and you're doing the work and this is you understand the project inside and out, that it's something that they're gonna help you and make the process fair. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but they will tell you kind of, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, this is what I need. And then, if all goes well, you'll get your permit that day. If not, then you'll have to bring whatever homework they've given you, you'll have to bring back and get for them.
You making money?
Not yet. This is the life of a real estate developer. Things are much different in terms of the flow of profit. My father worked for a real estate developer as an attorney, and I remember always listening in on their projects. They would start a project, they wouldn't make a dime for the first 7 to 10 years sometimes. And I have friends that are doing what I'm doing, and they have a lot longer. I should probably. I'm coming up on about 6 months, and I'm getting ready to put the first house on the market. So I should see some money soon.
Great.
It's a big payday that comes all at once, and you just have to be get used to that. It's not like getting a paycheck, a regular paycheck.
Are